Hey guys, it's Noah Wilson here from iHollywoodTV, and welcome back to another episode streaming right here exclusively on GlewedTV. Well, my next guest, they were Howie Mandel's golden buzzer for this season of America's Got Talent on NBC. Please welcome, joining us in studio from New York City, Northwell Nurse Choir. Hi, Winnie, Christian, and Emmanuel.
Hello from New York.
Yes, live from New York. Oh my gosh, New York, the place that never sleeps. I love New York. It's my favorite, the Big Apple, and it's finally opened and it's back and everyone's doing well. How exciting is that, you guys?
Super exciting, yeah.
We thought about this for a long time since, since the pandemic hit. We always were looking for that day when we could get our lives back. So we're, just like the rest of the country and the world, we're pretty excited.
So as you were working on the front lines of COVID-19, what was the hardest part for you all?
Well, I think the first thing was the fear of the unknown. You know, when the pandemic first hit, we were not experts. We were learning as the pandemic got worse. We were learning as far as the medical care and the standard of care. And as nurses and leaders, our role was to rally the troops and get people going and have that sense of, I'm going out there. But we were also quite afraid. Remember too, we went home to our families, right? So we also had that fear of, now I'm going to go home and I need to also protect my family. So I think that was probably the number one thing that when it first started, that was probably the biggest the biggest stressor for us.
Agreed, yeah. I mean, I have 2 kids, so that was scary for me. I mean, I know they say that COVID affects adults more than it does children, but who really knows that, especially in the beginning, in the early phases. So it was really tough to keep, to stay sterile, to stay clean and not bring it home.
Yeah, and I know for me, I work in a pediatric hospital, and so, like they're saying, a lot of times in the beginning, they were really worried about the adults, but kids were getting it too, and I was seeing it. Thankfully, we didn't have a lot of severe cases, but, the reality is kids got very sick from it as well. And so that was a little scary to see. And then also for me, the other part was, I have like older parents, and so I wasn't able to go home and see them and, and check in on them and things like that. So that was a little scary, but, thankfully we have other family members and people around that kind of supported us and kind of, took some of the burden off of the duties that we had at home. So, so it was just amazing to see that, people coming together.
So how did you all manage to stay so strong during a difficult time, as not only were the nurses getting sick, your own families were getting sick from this as well?
Well, I think like as a nurse, for our ministry or our mission, we have clarity on that, exactly what it is we've signed up for, similar to a fireman or EMT, people that, we understand what our mission is. So, as upsetting or as fear of the unknown that we harbored, we understood that it was our ministry to get in there and get the job done. So thank God the health system that we work for, Northwell, we had outstanding PPE. We were very well taken care of as far as that. So we would go into work and kind of put our armor on. It was kind of like going to war. You put on your armor and you get everything on. A lot of people turn to prayer or their spirituality to kind of whoever your person was or your higher power to watch over you, because once you put all that on, then into the fires we went.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I really took from COVID was how supportive my coworkers became. They became like second family to us, because not only were we in there day in and day out with them, but they knew exactly what we were going through, and so like you always had someone to talk to, you always had someone to kind of lean on to support whenever you were feeling down. And then I think, something that I found really inspiring was that a lot of our nurse leaders, like Winnie and like I had my managers, they were always present, always available to talk to us. And Northwell in general had such great programs in place. If you, needed something for mental health, or, you just needed time away, or if you needed services at home for your kids or your parents, things like that, they provided all those services, and it kind of helped to relieve some of the stress that we were feeling from going in and out of work like that.
Yeah. So living through a pandemic, how has this changed the way you view life now?
Oh, it easily flipped our perspective.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, being a nurse kind of already does that to you. You deal with sick people all the time. That a lot of people die young, and you know, it kind of puts that, you know, vision in our head that tomorrow's never promised. And COVID only really enhanced that. We saw people dying left and right, and we never took a minute for granted. And I mean, now, I mean, we saw how life was different last year, and now that we're back to kind of allowed to being around each other again, I never thought I was going to see that again.
Yeah.
And now that we are, I'm super thankful for it. I mean, I think it just taught us to never take anything for granted.
Yeah, I definitely find more appreciation for life. Yeah.
And I think, you know, nursing as a whole, we're known for our resiliency. You know, we go to work every day expecting good outcomes. We know that they're not always good, but during the pandemic, there were really no good outcomes. And I think, to Manny and Christian's point, we always had that sense of gratitude, but this has really taken it to a completely different place, that every day that we get up, you know, we realize, you know, we're grateful. We're grateful for the gift of life, because during that time, we really didn't know where this was going, you know?
Yeah.
Right. The thing that I love the most out of the pandemic was in New York City, they had where I think everyone would come out at 7 o'clock and cheer you guys on and applaud y'all for the work that you guys did throughout the day, as it was so stressful and so hard for all the nurses in New York as the pandemic was on rise there. How did that make you guys feel, knowing that so many people like us were, you know, cheering you guys on, rooting for you, standing by you?
It was amazing.
It was very cool.
Yeah, because, you know, I feel sometimes, especially when we were in the height of the pandemic, you know, you're going in and out, you're kind of like zero focused on work and your duties and what you have to do. And then to realize that you're not in this fight alone, that like all of New York City is behind you, and to show their appreciation, their, you know, clapping and like hitting pans and honking their horns like at 7 o'clock, just to see that and to feel it was, I don't know, it was just so gratifying.
Yeah, we're appreciative of that.
Two of my sons live in Manhattan. I live in the suburbs, so they would send videos to me of the different streets that they live on, which was pretty cool. And then I would send pictures back, because my neighbors would leave a bottle of wine, or someone would ring the bell and cook a meal, you know, so that whole sense of community, everybody appreciated what I was doing. They would see me going out in the morning, they'd honk their horn or wave, I'd come back at night, they'd stop by. So I think no matter where you lived, if you were in any way embedded in your community, people were extremely appreciative of what we did.
Won't you stand
Yes, America's Got Talent. So, yes, woo, woo, yes, come on, let's all dance. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to ask you guys, first off, this is probably the most simplest question out of all. How did you all form as a choir?
Well, you want to tackle this one?
Sure. So last year before Thanksgiving, Northwell Health System, which has, you know, we're the largest employer in New York State. They donate money towards nurses.org, which is a organization that helps nurses in crisis, and also looking to help push because we have a nursing shortage, so we're trying to get people to go into nursing. Anyway, they reached out to Northwell to see if we had a choir, and they said, we don't, but maybe we'll put one together. So they sent out an email to 18,500 nurses who wants to be in a choir. So we all had to make a 30-second video on our phone, just 30 seconds, pick any song, and send it in.
Yeah.
So we all did that. And they picked 50 nurses out of everybody who sent it back. We were one of the 50. And over Thanksgiving, they showed a video.
A virtual,
what do you call that?
like almost like a virtual concert.
Yeah, with all little boxes with our faces. So we never met each other, but we were singing. Wow. Yeah, they sent us whatever our piece was to learn. You learn it, you send it back, and then we had this virtual concert. And then after Christmas, we all 50 of us got an email saying that America's Got Talent saw it, and they're interested, but we can't send 50. We can only send 18. So they said, if you're interested, send back if you're interested. So we all sent back, and we were the lucky 18 that
they
got
slimmed
chosen.
it down again, so.
Yeah.
Look at you guys, and you're shining bright there in studio. It's so great to see talent in studio. It makes me so happy. You know, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and they've been in studio, you guys, because they're rehearsing for their live shows coming up in August. How has rehearsals went so far?
They've been, you know, I gotta say, they've actually been really, they've been really fun. It's good to like actually sing with people again, and like-minded people. You know, like we said, we've all been through the same things, through the same struggles of COVID, and to be able to like be in a room again with people and to just do what you love to do. I mean, aside from nursing. But you know, and it's been really grueling. It's been a great learning experience, and we got to prepare a lot of songs that we're very excited for you guys to hear.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I like singing with you guys.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of perseverance. But just singing with other talented people, it can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
So.
As there's so many out in the world that are still hurting, how do you want to inspire others rooting, supporting, and voting for you all on AGT this season?
Well, hopefully the songs that we've chosen send a message. While we're singing, our faces are trying to send that message, similar to what we did, Stand By Me, Lean On Me. There are nurses and non-nurses out there who are having trouble finding their resilience. Remember, all those months, no one had a visitor. Those families lost family members, and they were not allowed to see them. We had iPads so that family members could watch their family member expire. I mean, think about how powerful that is. And so there are so many people out there that have been affected by this. And now that we're together, our message we're hoping is, we're coming back. You can come back. We have to look to the good. We have to look to the hope. That's kind of what we're hoping that you get out of this.
Yeah, and keeping a positive outlook on life and being kind to others and just loving on each other more than we did before the pandemic even started.
Kind of like after 9/11. No, New York City after 9/11. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was a time where people were kinder. Like when you got on a subway, people were holding the doors. Like just the whole culture of New York City changed. And we're hoping that maybe because we've all gone through this as a country, that people will be maybe gentler and kinder and a little happier and have that gratitude where, hey, I'm still here. Maybe there's something I'm supposed to be doing here,
So as you all want America to stand by you during this season of AGT, what will the Northwell Health Nurse Choir do if they win? If they win the money, win the big prize?
That's tough.
I have no idea.
I would have to think about that one. I would probably say a vacation, a small vacation, and afterwards, I really don't know. What about you, Manny?
I don't know. I think I'd use it to do some good within my family. My parents had made so much sacrifices for us for us to get to where we are now. So I definitely want to help them out. And then the rest, I don't know. Have some fun.
I don't want to sound materialistic. So.
I think I'd like to have a party for my division in the hospital. The people that I work with. I work in operative services, so there's a lot of people that sacrifice that I work next to for all that time, and I'd love to just rent a hall and get a DJ and have a big party for them, just in gratitude that for all they did, and then I would take the rest of the money and do something selfish.
Buy a new car, buy a new house, do something fun. Yeah. Yes, Whitty. Well, leaning on each other is more important than ever, as we discussed. What is one thing you want everyone watching to know what a nurse goes through on a daily basis that we don't see as we aren't on the front lines? But I will say we are always on the sidelines cheering you on no matter what you face or go through.
What would you say? I would say, everything that you see about what nurses do, both whether it's in a TV show or, from documentaries or just maybe from what you observe from being in and out of hospitals, the nursing aspect of it is so much more than what you ever see. And also it just takes a toll on us emotionally too, Like I've bonded with so many patients throughout my years of nursing, and it does take its toll on you, especially if the outcome isn't what you want it to be. And so I think it's important for people to understand that we are humans too, and we go through tough times, but through it all, we always got your best interests in mind. Like our patients become like our families, and we treat them like our families. Like if I see a patient there, like lying there, I think of my niece or my siblings or my parents and how I would want them to be cared for.
Yeah.
And so I just try to do the same.
Even if they're rude?
Even if they're rude.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's, it is it is a mission of selflessness. You know, it really isn't about you. It really is about the people that you care for. And sometimes that's difficult, you know, but I think to Manny's point, it's that whole thing of treat people the way you'd like to be treated. And when you're in a hospital, anybody ever, for anything, nobody ever wants to be there. Hands down, 100%. So whatever we do, our mission is to get you up and get you out, and to do it with kindness. And hopefully anybody out here who's listening has had a good experience in the hospital and has had an opportunity to thank a nurse for their selfless work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Northwell Nurse Choir, thank you so much for taking the time to join me here at iHollywoodTV. It was a great conversation, and thank you for helping everyone during this pandemic. I applaud you. I send my love to you, and you guys are just the real heroes in our world today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Great.
Send my love.
Yes, stay
Y'all
safe.
stay safe
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.